Alright, hello booktube, I'm Rhema and welcome again to my channel. So as you know from the title, you probably know that I'm doing a book haul today, and it's basically, it is from bookoutlet.com. I made a whole video about this yesterday, but I did not like any of it.
And it is a book outlet haul.
So I decided to redo it. I didn't feel like I was talking well enough about the books, and I don't know if any of that's going to change this time. I hope I can do a little bit better. But yeah, so basically I ordered 7 books from bookoutlet.com for $35.93, which is really good because usually I go to Target and I buy 2 books for $25, and they're like paperback books, and most of these are hardcover books, so it's like you can't beat this. So yeah, I guess we'll just go ahead and get into it. So some of these I'm going to admit I bought just because I like the way the cover looked, and then the other half I bought because I was really intrigued by the story. So there are some that I'm more excited to read than others, but hopefully maybe sometime in the future after I read all of these I can come back to you and like give you like a good reviews and tell you what I really liked out of it. So okay, we'll just go ahead and get started. The first book is, this is one of my cover buys. It's Cures for Heartbreak by Margot Rapp. I hope I'm saying, yeah, Margot Rapp. When I first saw this book, of course, I saw the burgers and the donuts and the teddy bears and the pastries, and something about it was just I just want that on my shelf, and I got it. At first I thought it was going to be about like a relationship, you know, Cures for Heartbreak, but it's actually about a girl whose mom gets diagnosed with cancer, and she writes in her diary, like in her journal, yeah, she writes in her journal that if her mom dies, she'll die. And 12 days after she writes that, her mom does die. So I think the whole story is really about this girl's journey on finding herself, on growing, on growth, you know, how she makes it through this tough time in her life. And I think it's supposed to be inspirational and funny. It got a lot of awards and great reviews. On the front it says it's a sad, funny, smart, endlessly poignant novel. And for some reason I'm drawn to books that make me sad and books that make me laugh. I don't know, it's just like that cathartic feeling that I mentioned in my last video. So this is that book, one of my cover buys, but I'm also very excited to read it. And it's also not that thick. A lot of the books I've been reading lately are pretty thick. So I feel like this is going to be a nice, you know, easy peasy, lemon squeezy read. Yeah. So that's it. Cures for Heartbreak. The next book is another cover buy, Broken Hearts, Fences, and Other Things to Mend. Okay, it says hot sun, blue waves, new romances, old secrets. Gemma had her summer all planned out, but it takes a sharp turn when she gets dumped and finds herself back in the Hamptons after a 5-year absence. I don't know about you guys. This reminds me, when I read this whole description, it reminded me a little bit of Gossip Girl. And I didn't read those books, but I watched the Netflix series. I'm not really interested in reading this anytime soon. A lot of the books I've been reading like recently, right now I'm reading the fantasy series, the Grisha trilogy. But I'm not really interested in reading something about, I don't know, a lot of the things I've been reading have been very deep. No offense to anybody who likes this book. No offense to the author. I'm pretty sure I'll get to this eventually. But right now, I don't really want it. I bought it because the cover is cute. So yeah, that's that. Broken Hearts, Fences, and Other Things to Mend by Katie Finn. And if you have read anything else by this author, please let me know how you liked it. Maybe that'll like encourage me to read it sooner. The next book I got. This wasn't really a cover buy. This was like a hype buy because I heard a lot of people in BookTube talking about it. And it's Anna and the French Kiss. I initially was interested in this because I heard people talking about it on BookTube. But then I read the description, and I was also interested again because, how many times I'm going to say the word interested? But I was also interested again because it said basically this girl was living in Atlanta, and her dad sends her to, I guess, school for her senior year in Paris. And I was very interested when I saw that because I studied abroad last summer. I went to London, Scotland, and Paris. Primarily I was in London. We took a trip to Scotland as like a whole group, and then some of us went to Paris right before we came back to the States. So I fell in love with Paris, and of course when I read that I was like, I have to read this book. And then it's about love. I love reading love stories. So yeah, and then like the day before yesterday, I was in Atlanta where she was, and I have some friends that stay there, and I was staying with them to see them. I hadn't seen them in years, and I went to a concert, a Bryson Tiller concert. So when I reread the description, I was like, oh, Atlanta and Paris, I have to read this. So I'm very excited. I know that there's another book. I think there's 2 other books, or maybe there's more. but I didn't buy both of them just because, you know, money, and because I just wanted to make sure that I really liked this book first. I didn't want to be stuck with things I didn't like, even though I'm pretty sure that I'm going to like it because everybody else seems to like it. So yeah, Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. Okay, 3 down, 4 to go. The next book is Mosquito Land, and this is by David Arnold. I'm very excited to read this because, I don't know, the title is what really got me into a Mosquito Land. I don't know, I live in the South, I live in Alabama, so it's just kind of like there's mosquitoes everywhere. It intrigued me, and the story is about a girl who's leaving Ohio. Her family collapses, so the book says, and she moves to Mississippi, which is right next to where I'm at. I often visit Mississippi, so I always get very excited to see how other people portray like southern states in their books, even if they don't get it right. So I was like, you know, I have to read this. And then when she gets to Mississippi, something happens to her mom, so now she has to go all the way back to where she came from, to Cleveland. And the story is basically about her journey and getting there. So it's kind of, it says like it's like a Odyssey, modern day Odyssey type thing that is funny and heartbreaking, like the other book that I just said. So I don't know, I'm very, this is probably the number 2 book that I'm excited to read. We'll get to the number 1 in a second, but I'm very excited to read this. Yeah, it says Mosquito Land is equal parts sharp, sad, and surreal. This book is genius, war, pain, and all. So yes, they'll probably be like a separate review on this book. Another cover by is The Love That Split the World. Look at this. Oh, please don't look at how badly I need to fill in, but look at this. It's gorgeous. I hope that I'm not like, I don't know if this camera is doing what it's supposed to do. But yeah, anyway, it's gorgeous, and I bought this because of the cover. I also bought this because at the time I was reading a lot of contemporary, and I was kind of getting tired of reading about ordinary people living in an ordinary world. So I was like, I need to find something else. I think this group is fantasy, I'm not sure, but it's about this girl who starts seeing things that other people aren't really seeing, and it's like she might see that her door is red and it's actually not red. Like everybody's seeing the green door, but she's seeing a red door. She sees like a building where it's not usually at, and nobody else is seeing that. And then she meets this boy, I guess this person that keeps appearing to her that she calls grandma, says you only have so much time to save him. That she meets this boy, and I'm believing that it's a love story. I'm not explaining this very well at all because it kind of can, I don't know, I have to read books in order to really tell you what they're about. But it says that basically if you love Friday Night Lights and the Time Traveler's Wife, you'll love this book. And I haven't seen Friday Night Lights, but I have I read the I know I've either, I think I watched, is the Traveler's Wife a movie or something? I don't know. But I think I would like both of those things. So I'm pretty sure that I'm going to like this book. So yeah, that is The Love That Split the World by Emily Henry. And it got a lot of good reviews. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited to read this. The next book I have is I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. I'm very excited to read this because everyone says it is great, and when most people say that something is great, I'm pretty sure I'm going to like it too. I actually read another one of her books like last week, The Sky Is Everywhere. I went to Barnes & Noble and picked this out. I went to Barnes & Noble and picked this out just to have a book to read until like my other book shipment came in, and I ended up liking this a lot more than what I expected. Like the way this lady, the way she writes is just very, I don't know, it's just very like, it's very satisfying. Like I don't know, just reading it was just like, it was very easy. Like you just want to keep reading because it's flowing so well. So I really like this book, and I know that if this book is what she's known for at this moment, then I'm really going to love this. And I think it's about some twins who a boy and a girl. And of course, when they're younger, they were very tight. They were always together. You didn't see one without the other. And then as they get older, something happens and they're not talking anymore. And I think the first couple of years are told from one twin's perspective. And the second half of the years are told from another twin's perspective. And I'm thinking like we're going to see if they're going to either like something's going to happen to cause them, you know, like to be around each other again or something like that. I'm not really sure, but I've heard it's very good, so I'm excited to read it. And last but not least, definitely not least, is this is the book that I'm very, very excited to read. I haven't seen anyone talk about this, but I was very interested in it, and it is The House Girl, a novel by Tara Conklin. Basically, I read like 75% contemporary, 24% fantasy, and 1% other. And this is a historical fiction novel. And I haven't read one of these since maybe early years of high school. I'm not really even sure. But I know that whenever I have read a book like this, I've loved it. So this book is about, it goes between back and forth between two time periods. It alternates. One time period is 2004. It's about this lawyer who is trying to find descendants of slaves in order to give them reparations for what happened to their ancestors. Like, she's trying to find somebody to be the face of a big lawsuit. And then in 1854, it's talking about this slave named Josephine, who, I'm not really sure if I got this right. Yeah, it's about a 17-year-old slave in 1852 who's caring for her mistress on a tobacco plantation. And basically in 2004, historians are starting to figure out that this slave, Josephine, they think that all the paintings that were credited to her mistress were actually Josephine's paintings. So the lawyer finds this out and thinks, oh, this is going to be a great time to find one of her descendants to be the face of this lawsuit. But she can't find any of her descendants because nobody knows what happened to her after her mistress died. So I think there's also something going on with the lawyer, so we're going to hear more about her story. But I just found it very, like, cool that we're going to be jumping between two time periods here. And I don't know, I'm always interested in learning about history, especially about history that has something to do with me, but history in general. So I'm very extremely excited to read this book. This is probably going to be the first one that I read in the stack. I'm reading something else now. I'm reading, like, I think I already said this, I'm reading the Grisha trilogy, and when I finish that, I'm reading is it Six of Crows and Cricket Kingdom? I'm reading that. So when I finish all of that, then I will start this. So yes, that is actually it. And I would stack all of these up and make it pretty for you, but I'm not going to take the time to do that. So this is actually, these are all of the books. This should be the other way around, but these are all the books that I got for $35.93, and I'm very excited.